Have you ever dreamed of just stepping outside the whole system? No mortgage, no monthly bills. Well, today we're diving into the story of a family who actually did it. Over the last 12 years, they've built a sustainable, off-grid life, literally from the ground up.
Okay, let's just get straight to the most unbelievable part. That number, under $1,000. That's their best estimate for the total cost to build their entire home, and that includes all the additions they've made over a decade. That's not a down payment, folks. That's the whole shebang.
So, that leads to the big question, right? How on earth is that even possible? That's what we're going to unpack here. We're going to break down exactly how they pulled it off, from the materials they used to the systems that keep their homestead going.
So, let's start with the foundation of their entire project, which, and I mean this literally, is the earth itself.
You know, what's really interesting here is the why. This wasn't just some wild fantasy. It was a really practical decision. They had worked hard to pay off their debts and wanted to leave the city without just jumping into new ones. That one single goal, to avoid a mortgage, drove every single choice they made from then on.
The absolute key to their super low-cost build is this material, cob. It's an ancient technique, and it's so simple. It's just a mix of clay, sand, and straw. You don't need complex machinery. It's dug by hand, mixed by foot, and then applied by hand. The raw materials were literally right there, just under their feet. And this part is just brilliant because it shows you how accessible this all is. To figure out if their local soil would even work, they just did these simple hands-on tests. Can you roll the clay into a little tube that doesn't fall apart? If you can do that, you can probably build a house. It just completely demystifies the whole construction process.
So the house wasn't built all in one go. It kind of grew organically, right along with the family. They started back in 2009 with just a tiny two-story structure they called a bunkie. Then, as they got their hands on salvaged materials from neighbors, they expanded. They'd add a mudroom or enclose a porch to make a living room. Eventually, they built a whole new west wing, where they even started playing with other natural building methods.
Okay, so building the structure is one thing, but making it a functional, truly self-sufficient home, that's a whole other challenge. Let's look at how they created a complete off-grid system.
So, here's how they disconnected from all the public utilities. For power, they have solar panels that give them enough juice for essentials, like their phones, a laptop, and a freezer. For water, they have a hand-dug well and collect rainwater. Heating is really clever. They have small wood stoves in each room, so they can just heat the one space they're in. Waste is handled with composting toilets. And the most incredible part? About 90% of the materials for all these systems, the windows, the roofing, you name it, were salvaged.
This is where using cob is just genius. It's way more than just a wall. It acts like a giant thermal battery. The thick earth walls soak up the heat from the wood stove all day long, and then, for hours after the fire is out, they slowly radiate that warmth back into the room. It gives them amazing passive heating in the winter and actually helps keep the house cool in the summer.
Now, beyond just having shelter, real self-sufficiency for this family means producing their own food. And their approach is so much more than just a simple vegetable garden. Their entire philosophy is rooted in this idea of permaculture. The goal isn't just to grow crops, it's to create a whole self-sustaining ecosystem that works with nature. That means it minimizes labor, and it maximizes what you get out of it.
And just look at the sheer variety this system creates. They produce their own dairy from a small herd of cows, they get eggs from chickens and ducks, and they have a huge variety of fruits and veggies from what they call a food forest. Even their horses play a part, helping to generate biomass for fertilizer. Everything works together.
This quote really gets to the heart of their whole mindset. Their goal isn't just about scraping by or surviving. It's about creating what they call magnificent abundance. They really believe that the true strength and resilience of their lifestyle comes from these food systems that produce more than enough.
Okay, but this life isn't a fantasy, let's be real. It comes with a very serious set of trade-offs and daily challenges.
This really lays out the contrast, doesn't it? Instead of a mortgage, your home repairs are done with a shovel and a bit of earth. Instead of car payments and insurance, they might pay for a taxi once a month. And instead of an automatic washer, they literally stomp on their clothes in a tub, or as they charmingly call it, they dance in our laundry.
And they are brutally honest about the negatives, about the real toll this life can take. There is a constant, grinding responsibility. The cows don't care if you're sick or tired, they have to be milked, twice a day, every single day, no exceptions. The lack of modern convenience isn't just a cute quirk, it's a daily, time-consuming reality.
And then there's the bureaucracy, the constant stress of dealing with municipal issues and legal hurdles because their home is unpermitted. It's a fight on multiple fronts.
So with all those challenges, what's the reward? For them, it's about a completely different definition of wealth, one that has nothing to do with dollars.
And a huge part of that reward is their approach to education. They call it life immersion schooling. Their kids learn responsibility and compassion by actually caring for animals. They learn practical skills like building and gardening because they're doing them every single day. Life itself is the classroom.
This is really the core message they want to get out there. Through their 12-year journey, they've proven to themselves and to others that this isn't some impossible dream. A life of freedom, one that's deeply connected to the land, is actually achievable.
Ultimately, their story is just so full of optimism. They believe that more people can adopt these principles of permaculture, start local gardens, and become what they call tenders of the earth, creating their own abundance right in their own communities.
So, we'll leave you with this final thought. A story like this really challenges our most basic assumptions about what a home costs and what a life really requires. If they can pull a home from the ground for less than the price of a new phone, what other limitations that we all take for granted are just waiting to be questioned?